You know exactly what to do to lose weight. Eat better, move more, get better sleep, but for some reason, you can't seem to do it consistently. Today, I'm going to share why you keep falling off track with your weight loss journey, and most importantly, how to change those behaviors so you can achieve and maintain your weight loss goals for the rest of your life. Welcome to the Fit and Fulfilled Show. If you're a busy professional woman who wants to finally prioritize your health and happiness, this is the place to be. I'm your host, Soraya Russell, certified macronutrition coach, mindset coach, and lifestyle transformation coach. And each week, I share practical strategies to help you build sustainable habits, boost your energy, become obsessed with what you see when you look in the mirror, and feel confident and strong in your body, all without feeling stressed, burned out, or guilty. Let's dive in. This topic hits really close to home for me because I know if you're watching this or listening to this, you are smart, you're successful, you're good at your job, you're good at taking care of your family. But it's so frustrating because you can't apply that same principle to your weight loss journey. You can't stay consistent with weight loss like you can at work. And I want to explain why that's happening and how to fix it so that you can have that same success with your own personal life and your body as you do in your professional life. So there are six main reasons that you're struggling to stay consistent. I'm going to explain each of them, what they are, why they happen, and then I'll get into how to actually change these behaviors. So the first one is what you've probably heard before, self-sabotage. So self-sabotage is essentially when you are doing well with something, you're staying consistent, but all of a sudden you go off track. And sometimes you're not really sure why that pattern happens. So if you just think about the last time you tried to start eating healthy or moving more, you could probably recognize there was a day or a moment where you started slipping up. It might have started with one slip up, like missing a workout, eating off plan, and then slowly, you reverted back to old habits. This would be considered self-sabotage. And something I want you to understand is self-sabotage is not random. It's your brain trying to keep you safe from disappointment. So what happens is if you've struggled with your weight for a very long time, you probably have a routine you're comfortable with. It's obviously not helping you get towards your goals, but it's comfortable. Maybe you drink coffee in the morning, you skip breakfast or eat a light breakfast like a protein bar. Maybe you barely eat lunch. Then later in the evening, that's when you're snacking. You might not eat a lot of food. Like a lot of the clients that come to me are not eating a bunch of food every day. They're not stuffing their face every day with every meal. But what's happening is the foods that they are eating when they do eat are very high in calories and they're not nutrient dense. And so that might be what you're used to, what you're familiar with. So even though that's what you're used to, you're not comfortable in your body, but you're comfortable with your routine. And so what happens with self-sabotage is your brain is saying you're trying to change our routine to get towards a certain result. And I don't want you to feel disappointed if you can't get to that result. So I'm going to sabotage you early and go back to old patterns because that's what's familiar, that's what you know, and that's what you're used to. So self-sabotage is your brain trying to keep you safe, but in the same vein, it's stopping you from getting to where you really want to be, which can be a little uncomfortable to get to, right? You have to overcome hurdles. You have to stay consistent when things are hard, but it leads to what you really want, which is not always what's the thing that's keeping you the safest. Another thing that causes this is if you failed with weight loss attempts before, your brain registers that failure. It knows what it felt like to fail. So say that you did keto before, right? And you stuck with it for 2 weeks, no carbs. Then one weekend you went to an event, there was a bunch of carbs and you went crazy. You ate a lot of food, which has actually happened to me before. And then you remember how you felt the next morning. You felt guilty. Maybe you tried to work it off. Maybe you felt very bloated. You felt disappointed in yourself and you just went back to old habits. Your brain remembers how you felt when you fell off with that diet, how disappointed, um, how down that you felt. And so because of that, it's like, hey, I don't want you to go back there because I'm trying to protect you. So next time you try something different, whether it's keto or something else, I'm going to sabotage you before you get to that point of disappointment. So this is kind of the mechanism that's happening, and you can break this chain, which I'm going to share in a little bit. But self-sabotage is just your brain trying to keep you safe. And with doing that, if you allow it to do so, you'll stay safe. You'll live a comfortable life, but you won't live the life that you really want in the body that you really want. The second reason you can't stay consistent is fear of failure. And I find this in almost every client I work with, and it's so subconscious that you probably don't even realize it's a factor. So, whenever I've had clients before they signed on to work with me who said, oh, like maybe this isn't a good time, maybe I can't afford it, whatever it might be, really what the root cause of that is a fear of failure. Them saying it's not the right time is really them saying, I'm scared that I'm going to start this when life is busy and won't stay consistent. And I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to get the results that I wanted. Them saying I can't afford it is I can't afford to invest in this program and fail at it because I can't stay consistent, right? So fear of failure is essentially you being afraid that you're not going to get the outcome. And that could be because you're afraid that you won't be able to stay consistent. But the deeper reason that you have fear of failure, your deepest fear is that you're scared that you're going to be overweight for the rest of your life. You're afraid that you're never going to achieve your body goals. You're afraid that you're never going to put on your favorite outfits and look in the mirror and say, I actually love the way I look. So, because you have that deep seated fear that you cannot do it and maintain it, there's all these other things that are happening consciously that you think are the real reasons. You think, oh, I just don't think I can stay consistent, so I'm not going to sign up. Oh, I can't afford it, I'm not going to sign up. But the deep fear is that I'm afraid that I'll sign up. The program will be awesome, but I won't be able to stick with it. I won't be able to lose the weight. I won't really be able to ever get to a place where I feel good in my body. And that fear stops you from staying consistent and sometimes even starting in the first place. I had a client actually a couple weeks ago who signed on to work with us, but before she agreed to sign on, she was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about doing this, to be honest. And I asked her, I was like, okay, is it that you're nervous that you don't think the program will work for you? Or are you nervous that you won't be able to stay consistent? She said she's nervous she wouldn't be able to stay consistent. And I asked her, I was like, okay, what are some things you tried in the past that you couldn't stay consistent with? And she listed out at least 6 things she had done. She had tried a GLP-1. She had tried intermittent fasting. She had tried a fitness challenge. She had tried another weight loss challenge, another coach. And every single time, it didn't lead to the results she wanted long term. She always lost weight, but was never able to maintain her results and never got to her final goal weight. So the real fear, lack of consistency was part of it, but the deeper fear after all these failures is that she was never going to be able to get to where she wanted to be. Because evidence has shown her, hey, you've tried all these different things and none of them have worked. So what makes you think this will work for you? What makes you think you're meant to be smaller, meant to be in a smaller size? And so the fear was not that she couldn't stay consistent. It was the fear that all these things I've tried in the past, it's always led to failure. So I believe that I'm a failure with weight loss. I don't believe I can reach my goals. And so that fear was the real thing stopping her from taking the next step. We worked through it and I told her, hey, this is a fear of failure, right? And I told her, if you look at our program, because she watched our, invitation video that explained everything, and you think about all the things that you did, what are the differences? And she was like, well, this seems more sustainable. And I also like that you focus on mindset. Like I noticed you mentioned self-sabotage, emotional eating, and fear of failure are things you work on in the program. I also like that you have a therapist. So it's like, okay, great. So you recognize the gap between the things you were doing before and why they didn't work and what makes this different. So logically, it makes sense that this will work for you. The only thing stopping you from moving forward is you have a fear because of the past trauma of all these things that didn't work. I was like, but if you look at the evidence, we'll help you with emotional eating. We'll help you overcome self-sabotage. We'll help you with fear of failure. We have a therapist. With all those things addressed, you will achieve and maintain your weight loss goals. I promise you. She took the leap. She trusted us. She's down 25 pounds. She's wearing dresses she hasn't worn in 10 years. And the difference is, obviously, we help with nutrition. Obviously, we help with fitness. Those are parts of our program. But the biggest thing that made the difference for her is the mindset work we did inside of our program. She lost 25 pounds in 5 months, whereas with everything she tried before, she would lose, 20, 15 pounds in a couple months, but she'd always gain it back. She's maintained her results now for over 1.5 years. And it's because she did the mindset work that no other program had offered. So I say that to say, if you have a fear of failure, if any of these things are resonating with you, it's a sign that you are not just someone who can't stay consistent just because you have deeper fears and things that are causing you to struggle with consistency that you just need mindset help to address. The third thing that's stopping you from getting started or staying consistent is the overwhelm of getting started. So a lot of the clients that I work with before they started working with us, they saw all this different fitness, nutrition stuff on the internet. So I personally don't watch other creators in my space's content because I just like to keep my mind clear and create content that aligns with what I feel like people need. But I have another page for my podcast specifically. And so when I go to the explore page, I see a bunch of like weight loss videos. So the other day I looked and it's like, there's just so much conflicting information. Like, if I was a consumer, I would be so overwhelmed. One person says, cut carbs. Another person says, eat more fiber. Another person says, fat is bad. Someone says, it's just so much information. Someone says, do you need to take a GLP-1? And so if I was someone who wanted to start a weight loss journey, I would feel so overwhelmed and confused. Where do I start? Who do I hire? What do I do? And so because of all that overwhelm from the tips on the internet, it can feel really tough to find a place to get started. So we'll talk about a solution to this, but one of the things I tell people up front is don't follow a million different weight loss and fitness creators because it's going to create more confusion and overwhelm. Find someone who you resonate with, who seems like a decent human being, who seems like they focus on helping people that are similar to you, and just listen to them, maybe one or two people, because then the message is consistent versus a bunch of conflicting information that you see online. The fourth thing that's keeping you stuck is all or nothing thinking. What this looks like is you're either on track, meal prepping, eating clean, working out, or you're not doing any of those things. I find this with a lot of our clients who are very high achieving professional women because they're used to being on top of it. They're type A, everything has to be correct, right? And that can work very well in your career, but with weight loss, you don't need to be perfect. In fact, having perfectionism mindsets can make it harder because it's never going to be perfect. Your macros are never going to be right on the money. Your calories are rarely going to be right on the money. There's a variance. And so what I found with a lot of clients, a pattern they have in the past is they'll start, say, doing a meal plan. And one day there's pizza at work. They just have a couple slices of pizza. And then they're like, well, the whole day is ruined. So on the way home, they have Chick-fil-A from the drive-thru. Then they have some chips and ice cream in the evening. Then they're like, I ruined everything. I'll get back on track on Monday. And Monday's 4 days from now. At that point, you're back to your old habits. So all or nothing thinking can be a problem because you feel like if I haven't done everything 100%, I feel like a failure. I feel like I've done nothing. And that mindset leads you to continue making choices that are not really in alignment with your goals because you didn't do everything 100%. The fifth thing keeping you stuck is lack of accountability. I find with a lot of busy professional women who have very successful careers, it's a struggle for them because they feel like I've done all these amazing things on my own with work, with family, whatever. I should be able to figure this out on my own. Let me tell you something. As someone who is, I would identify myself as a high achieving woman, right? The people who are the most successful in this world have mentors, they have coaches, they have someone to guide them. So if we think about some of the best athletes, for example, every athlete that's very, very accomplished has a coach, has a personal trainer, has someone helping them get better. Talent alone is only going to get you so far. There's a lot of talented people out here, but without the right person to nurture that talent, help guide you in the right direction, that could lead to a whole lot of nothing. So yes, you're smart. Yes, you're successful. And I commend you for everything that you've done. But if you want to also do well with weight loss, you want to have accountability. And I don't just mean your best friend or your mama or your cousin. I mean someone who knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing so they can help you with a personalized, sustainable approach, hold you accountable, and be there for you. When you just have a friend or someone for accountability, they could just ghost and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you have a paid professional who's an expert in their field, it's their job to hold you accountable so they will show up for you even when you don't feel like showing up for yourself. The sixth thing that I find keeps women stuck is analysis paralysis. When you have too many decisions to make, you make none. You see one video say to do this, another video say to do that, one post say this, one post say that. That creates analysis paralysis because you're like, there's too much information to analyze, so I do nothing. For example, if you see my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok posts, you might have saved a couple of them. But because there's multiple videos you're looking at, you save them, and what do you do with them? Nothing. Maybe when you go to the grocery store, you're like, oh, Soraya said that Ezekiel bread, something I should eat, maybe an avocado. So maybe you pick those up, but you're not portioning them correctly. You're not creating a whole meal plan that aligns with your goals. And so when you take in too much information and consume too much, especially if it's general, you end up doing nothing with that information because it's too overwhelming. So let's talk about how to fix these things. The first thing you need to fix is your mindset. And you need to fix it at the root, not the symptom. So for example, you might try to fix, that you eat clean for a week and then go off track on the weekend by saying, well, now I'm going to eat clean on the weekend too. That's a symptom of the bigger issue, which is that you don't have a healthy relationship with food. So to fix the root cause, you need to change your relationship with food. Stop seeing food as good or bad. Stop telling yourself I have to eat clean during the week and treat myself on the weekends, right? Work with a therapist, which we have in our program to help you overcome emotional eating behaviors. I see a lot of women try to solve the mindset issues with just fixing the exterior, eating cleaner, restricting harder, doing more workouts. But if you still have the mindset of someone who has a bad relationship with food, exercise, your body, you're going to go back to those old behaviors at some point. So we got to focus on the root cause and not just the symptom. The second thing you need to change is after you actually work through the mindset work, you have to have a personalized plan that actually works for you. So many women that I see struggle with consistency, a lot of our clients as well, is that everything they tried in the past, even though their mindset was part of the issue, the actual nutrition part was not sustainable. They weren't able to eat sugar, carbs, bread, pasta, wine. They couldn't go out to eat with their friends or family. That's not realistic. It is not your fault you couldn't stick with that. It's restrictive. And so you need a personalized meal plan that's flexible where you can still have all the foods that you like. For example, one of our clients recently, when she was creating her meal plan, she was like, hey, I want to have like a mini cinnamon roll once a week. I want to have a piece of chocolate every single night, right? And so we're able to plan that in. Like we have clients eating sweets every single day and still losing weight, lowering their A1C, improving their blood pressure, cholesterol, everything. Because it's about moderation, not restriction or elimination. And so when you have a personalized meal planning approach that's flexible, that still allows you to eat out, still allows you to eat things that you like during the day, then it's much easier to stay consistent because you did the mindset work and your meal plan also aligns with things you actually enjoy consuming. The third thing to address is your fitness routine. Stop trying to go from 0 to 100. If you're very sedentary right now, don't sign up for a 30-day challenge where you're working out every single day because it's not going to be something you can stick with long term. Even if you do it for 30 days, after that 30 days, you're going to be like, I need a break. I can't keep doing this. So instead, meet yourself where you are. So for our clients who are very sedentary, we start with walking first, slowly increasing their steps over time, and then we add in strength training. For clients who already walk, who are already doing, say, 7,000 steps, we add in strength training. For our clients who are already walking and strength training, we make sure they're walking the right amount. We make sure that they're lifting the right amount of weights. We make sure they have the right exercise split. So starting where you are is going to be better than trying to go from where you are to 10 levels higher than that overnight. The fourth thing you want to fix is getting accountability. I believe accountability is not something where you need to be relying on it for life. I believe accountability should be there until your habits become second nature. So in our coaching program, we're really big on holding people radically accountable, hand holding, making sure any question that you have, anything you need, we are there through our coaching calls, messaging, all this good stuff. But the goal of our accountability is that, yes, we're holding you accountable, but we're also teaching you how to do these things for yourself so that you no longer need accountability. Some people just have accountability from someone who wants them to be reliant for life. We don't want that. We're here to hold you accountable and teach you and train you so that you can become your own accountability partner by doing the mindset work. So you want accountability from someone who knows what they're talking about, someone who's worked with women like you, someone who wants to teach you, not just tell you what to do so you can become self-sufficient. And that's the difference between what we do and a lot of other things out there do. So if you resonate with any of this, it's a sign that you need to do the mindset work to be able to change your habits and become consistent. And from there, doing the actual implementation with fitness and nutrition and so on to make those things stick long term. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Fit and Fulfilled show today. Hope you walked away with practical strategies you can start using to feel more confident and energized in your everyday life and overcome your self-sabotaging behaviors. And if you found this helpful in absolutely any way, I ask that you please subscribe and share this with a friend who you think would find it helpful so they can also benefit from this information. Next week, we're diving into a brand new topic that you're not going to want to miss. But until then, remember, you deserve to feel as confident in your body as you do in your career. Take care.